Which knob did you turn? Woo! No.
Let's just start beatboxing, you know. I think we got their attention.
Yeah, their
Hello.
attention. Pay attention with all of your dollars and cents. We are at another StarWater Wednesday. We do this every single Wednesday at this fine establishment of high caliber beverages that will make you feel fancy. Do you feel fancy?
I do feel fancy, yes.
Yeah.
I fancy everyone in here. It's such a beautiful room.
We,
Place. I fancy this place. It really touches me deeply.
Yeah, right in that center spot. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you 303 Vodka for allowing us to express ourselves here. We start off the evening with a interview with people doing fun, fantastic things. If you do fun, fantastic things and would like to be interviewed, talk to me, because I would like to interview you. And then we do open mic poetry that also has musical stuff to it. And tonight, if you sign up for the open mic, we are recording everything. So you need to sign the release and just fill in the blank spaces for this your name, signature, and date. And then we have a special treat for you of Elias Clay with the music.
Yeah,
Really just bringing in that high-quality soul rebel fountain of truth to flip the paradigm, which is what we're all doing here. Whether you know it or not, you are enacting in a spiritual revolution to flip the paradigm of all reality.
Viva!
Woo! I am Dank Fart, the pirate poet, your local tour guide for the evening. And I am here with Che,
Hola.
the envisioner of Tribal Visions, for our splendid interview. So I guess, do we have your attention? Is everybody at attention? You can talk still, but there's like really important, fascinating information being conveyed here. Cuckoo.
I think we got it. I think we got the attention. So.
Yeah, cool. So, where does the story of Tribal Visions begin?
Oh yes, let's do that. That feels fun. Okay. Well, the story of Tribal Visions. Let's see. It's a culmination of many things that have happened in my life and in many other people's lives that have been involved with Tribal Visions. Basically, the core beginning of it kind of starts in Taos, New Mexico, a beautiful town where I am from, very cultural integrated. We have Hindu temples there. We have Sikh communities just south of there. We have Buddhist communities on the top of the mountains, multiple Zen communities. There's a lot of different intercultural stuff, as well as the home of the famous Earth ships, Michael's project, and many other amazing other sustainability things. The town itself has a solar radio station that was very popular since the 80s as the country's first solar-powered radio station. And so Taos kind of just had this cultural intensity. Also, it has the Taos Pueblo, which is one of the oldest living structures in this northern continent, basically in the continent, that is still lived in for like 1,700 years, has been dated, lived in these same houses, and they still live there today without electricity and without any of the modern amenities, maybe minus maybe some petroleum candles and some petroleum lighting. But besides that, they still go to sleep fairly early, and the rest of the community outside of the Pueblo structure, they live a more modern life inside the reservation and outside. But so in Taos itself is a very Hispanic culture, a lot of Catholicism and other like old mysticism in that there, as well as a lot of different tribal trading grounds where the tribes used to come from all over, the Lakotas, the Hopi, the Navajo, and they would actually have times where it was totally at peace and they wouldn't raid each other or steal each other's goods, and they'd actually trade. And that changed and evolved with our influences as well as the Spanish influences, the Western cultures coming in, influencing slavery and other terrible things that they then replicated and did themselves for a period of time. So they've been through a lot in that town and a lot of culture there. There's a lot of a lot of potent, like natural kind of energy there with the mountains. There's a canyon that goes right through, right near the town of Taos, and it's about 500-foot drop, 200 feet across, or less, maybe 150 feet across at points. But it's average of 500 to 600-foot drop just directly down. And at the bottom, there's like 2 different hot springs and that are free. And so it's got like this very like liberal hippie community thing. There's been over 13 communes were opened in the 60s just in Taos alone. And some of them famous musicians and other people had come there and stayed, Janis Joplin, Bob Dylan, you name it. Dennis Hopper owned a lot of stuff there. My mom worked for him for a bit, babysitted for him. So, Taos just has this whole culture to it. So I was raised in that culture. I was raised around the Peyote Church, I was raised around the sweat lodges. I was raised around a lot of Sufi dances, the Hanuman Temple, Ninkroli Baba, Lama Foundation, and just like multiple different cultural things. And a lot of my friends in our community have all been raised in this very diverse cultural way where some maybe were more into the temple and maybe some were more into one way or the other, but a lot of them would all enjoy each other's cultures and pray together. So I always, leaving Taos, I had a lot of culture shock in this beautiful, diverse country we have, seeing how everything really went down because it's not all like Taos. And I realized that. And Taos is a place of poverty. It's not really a place of rich wealth, except the families that move there that have millions and stuff, and then slowly trickles down to the lower classes. But generally, we got a reservation, like really walking distance from town, and it's still a reservation, just like most of the reservations in our country. So there's this whole aspect of like poverty, but at the same time, like indigenous ceremony, indigenous spirituality, and everybody learning how to pray and kind of come together on the same page, putting a lot of racism aside, and it's been definitely like a problem throughout the years. The 70s, they were still guns swinging and at the bars, and a lot of people were still getting their shootouts still happening in the 70s, so it has that energy. So I was born in Taos, right outside of Taos, in the off-grid house that was built by my father, originally built from the top down. He originally built it as a shack to put a kitchen next to the school bus, and then as the school bus wasn't sufficient enough in the winter and he needed a heated kitchen for my mother and the 3 kids, so he insulated that with clothing, and slowly, after years' time, he had to turn that into a structure and built it into a house that I was then, or 2 kids, and then I was the 3rd kid born there in that house. So I was raised in this kind of like diverse place where my mom couldn't handle the desert. She moved to town, created a herb farm there and got an orchard and kind of created more of a lush environment. And then 30 minutes away, my dad lives in this like Burning Man-esque environment where there is no building code essentially, except a little bit of concrete around a pole in the ground and a standing structure that is directly going up instead of crooked. So, and even some crooked structures are allowed. It's very strange place. We have spaceships, we have pyramids, we have lots of weird structures. So it's a very intercultural place. I love Taos. Enough with Taos. So basically my dad's house in general is like kind of a junk art junkyard that's very creative and little structures and weird characters everywhere. So from that, me dreaming as a kid of wanting to gather lots of people together on this land, kind of birthed me doing festivals. At 99, I did my first free festival, Summer Jam or something like that, and then it just slowly evolved into different cannabis cups, and like different like Halloween extravagant kind of parties and lots of drum circles, monthly full moons through my childhood. It was kind of a commune, like between 13, when I was 13, so like late 90s, like 97, up to 96, 97, 98, 99. And around 2000, it wasn't a commune anymore. Kind of got, my dad vacated everybody. And then slowly been trickling communities since. So these communities kind of inspired me to build this festival slowly. But 2006, in 2003, I got a bus, and I got this circus going. And we went to Central America, traveled around, went up to Oregon, Washington. There's Electric Blue Monkey Theater. Yeah, and we did lots of circus, activism, environmental education, orphanages, schools all through Central America, 9 countries we hit. So after all that, our troupe, as we were kind of like starting to have more, 6 years into a theater production, there's a lot of drama, literally every day, drama, meetings of drama. And it got really dramatic to the point where people were disappearing out of this world, and there was relationships not working anymore completely within the group, so it just totally fell apart. And in some ways, when it was falling apart, it created Tribal Vision at 2006 to kind of bring all the tribes and the indigenous cultures of our community actually together for like 3 days of camping and celebration on my dad's land. So that's kind of the root of Tribal Vision right there, kind of, and it evolves slowly.
Yeah, cool. And so kind of the hub of Tribal Visions is Indigenous knowledge and keeping Indigenous knowledge from dying away and crumbling into the dust fields of eternity, essentially?
Exactly. So as I left Taos, and as the monkeys, a lot of us were from there, a lot of teenagers from Taos that was growing up there, we all left and we all saw how lack of culture this country had become. Like, the biggest culture we found was in the inner cities. And then we're like, wait a minute, what about the culture and diversity of like the country and all the different parts of our society and the Native Americans? And so much has been covered up and erased and only let in certain areas of our country. So a lot of people have not seen Aztec dancing or a Mayan fire puja or these certain things that are very readily available in Taos. So we figured to create a festival in Taos that was very accessible to these indigenous cultures. Like we have Navajo, Apache, Mescalero Apache, and then south of there's many more cultures in Santa Fe, and then we got the Sikh communities, Yogi Bhajan. So just bringing all these people together in some way or another, the Buddhist prayers and the communities there, it became this real, powerful thing. Like people's lives were shifted and changed through that. Is that the right question? Right. I'm talking away from the microphone, right? That's it. Okay.
Yeah. We're professionals here.
Right.
Professionals.
I don't know if I like the sound of my voice sometimes.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll do it.
You're not supposed to like it.
Okay.
Just the audiences.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, yes, so...
So there's all this indigenous wizardry tradition formulating in this magical space of Taos. How many times have you done Tribal Vision?
So in 2006, it was the first annual. And then we decided that none of us really, partially because of the Electric Blue Monkey Theater dissipating into the ethers, we all pretty much, mostly me and the few that were left, decided that we couldn't just do this yearly, that it was too big of an endeavor to just go through at a year basis at the time. So we decided to wait a couple years and see where we were at. And then 2009 rolled along, and I'd moved out to California and was doing fairly well when the rest of the economy wasn't. So I kind of decided to bring that abundance back out of my own well-being in 2009, and with the help of a lot of the Rainbow family, actually, and a lot of their musicians, even Nako, Medicine for the People, Elephant Revival, like Arjuna and the Guardians. We had a great lineup in 2009. Fantuzzi, did a lot of like just total rainbow rockers, and it was really fun. And we did a lot of rituals with them, and we had sweat lodges on site, and it was pretty potent. But it was the last year that I did Tribal Visions at my dad's land partially because every time I returned, every couple of years, it was even more junk to deal with than the years prior, and I couldn't handle processing all this junk. And also, there was an offer in 2012 to be given this land where this farmer would grow all the food for the festival on site. And so a lot of the focus after 2009 was to bring in more sustainability workshops. In 2009, we did a cob workshop. We did an earthship kind of demonstration and stuff like this. And then into 2012, we had a lot of different booked things for doing more on-site workshops, but the land we weren't allowed to legally build because we were inside the city of Taos, which we had moved the venue to, and it was a wonderful venue, Tierra Lucero Farms, which is now Taos Valley Farm, and they're really amazing people. Bob Pedersen was the farmer, and he's probably going to be helping us again this coming year or doing workshops in 2015. So after 2012, we had Lunar Fire and Future Simple and Michael Travis from String Cheese Incident come, and a lot of other well-known DJs and musicians, close to 100 or so musicians and bands in total. It was pretty epic. We had Paul Stamets come in 2012, and then we literally fed 500 people 2 meals a day from the site.
StarWater was there too.
What'd you say?
StarWater was there too.
Yes, StarWater was there. Elixir Bar was set up and with her own freaking stage and everything. She had no one else next to her except the stage and the ceremonial fire pit, the fire puja. Yeah, the Dooney. Yeah.
So what are some of the ceremonies that you have been able to focus on and some of the cultures that you have been able to promote through Tribal's Visions? Or what, currently, like what have you done?
Up to this point, I mean, there's been a little bit different activities going on every year. Every year we've had a sweat lodge. Every year we've had Aztec dancing. So that's two things that we've solid with. And also every year we've had a Dooney, a sacred Hindu fire puja, since 2006. This will be the 4th one coming up, and we'll definitely have all those again. There was 1 year where we had to, 2012, because we were in the city limits, the permits and insurance didn't allow the sweat lodge, so we had to have natives load up people in van loads and send them to the reservation to do the sweat, which we would do again if we have to, but I believe the county doesn't get that involved with our business, so it should be a lot easier, but I'll find out.
It's all about working with the government.
Yeah, it really is. The more you work with them, the more they work with you. Huh.
Yeah, funny.
But yeah, so the ceremonies that we've done, so we've done Hindu fire pujas, variable different styles like Vaishnavan ones, Kali pujas, Shiva pujas. We've also done a lot of different styles of Aztec dancing. We've done the white robe Aztec dancers from Albuquerque where they only have like one feather in their head. And then we've done the more elaborate like ones from southern Mexico that have come up from DFA. All these dancers came up and they wear masks, like skull masks with like huge headsets. And there's actually quite a bit of images of them on our Facebook and on our website, tribalvisionsfestival.com.
Did they not open up for Paul Stamets?
They did open up for Paul Stamets, and actually blew Paul Stamets' mind so much that he, in turn, saw that we were actually losing money from the festival, and in turn didn't want to charge us anything, and he paid for his own fare, hotel, and literally everything. We tried to give him his payment, and he didn't want it because he was so blown away by the cultural experience that he saw. He saw these Hindus doing a ritual over there. Boom, the Aztec dancers were like right there next to him dancing, and he was totally mesmerized, and they were mesmerized by him as well. So it was a very a deep inner sharing of knowledge and culture. Sort.
What do you think for the benefit of our global reality life experience is through the understanding and cultural experience of other cultural ceremonies and like religious kind of spiritual practices? What do you feel like that has an impact? How does that impact our, well, what I guess we could call society?
Well, for me, I mean, it's hard to speak for the whole of society, of course, but for me as an individual, and also how I see how my effect can affect society through just example, I feel like knowing the unknown is often a very important thing. And like every time I've seen an amazing ritual in southern Mexico or anywhere in the world, in Thailand or anywhere, essentially it can catch you in a point where it's not just another memory of drinking a beer at the bar or like talking with a friend. You actually, it ingrains in your soul, and maybe you actually take that with you and practice it, or maybe it's just a memory that helps you remember the depth of that culture and that sacredness or that divinity of that the culture that you then experience. But I feel like, you know, for myself, and it's really important to go out and see different things and be a part of different beliefs and learn how to pray the way they do, so you can understand through their eyes what they're receiving and from their spirits, and also how you perceive their world. You know, I mean, if you're going through life just going through day-to-day job or just practicing your one religion all the time, you may not see all the other potential aspects of growth around you. And I'm not a big person to say like, oh, I'm only this or I'm only that. And partially because I think I'm from Taos, it's hard for me to identify. And I think a lot of people in our generation are having more time, or even in this day and age, having a hard time to identify with one religion. So I think it's a really important thing to understand many. So maybe does attach to you. I've had many friends that have followed the Red Road and the Peyote way, the Sundancer way, and going all that route. And many have followed the Hindu path, even more extreme, and some that have dabbled in both. In my mind, there is no wrong in that, but some teachers definitely say find your way and stick with it. I see tribal visions as not really like okay, we're just experiencing everything, but we're actually like bringing all parts of the world together to pray and honoring each one of their tribes, just as the Pope was just recently in the Philippines or whatever, right? He's like honoring their tribes and honoring their thing. It's like we can all step out of our own religion sometime, our own practices, and be like, well, I recognize this and I can pray here with you guys, and that's where peace is. That's where prosperity, culture.
The crystalline truth that is represented in all forms. I definitely feel you growing up in Fairfield, Iowa with Maharishi and the Transcendental Meditation. It's not quite as multicultural. It's basically small town Iowa and then Hindu.
Right.
But it has enough of a difference representational that I definitely feel you on that wavelength.
Oh, for sure. I think it's really important, and even in some small town, like all those little people in Iowa are seeing Maharaj's devotees doing their strange, different practices, and some are completely changed, I'm sure, just from that, or maybe expand their own spiritual self, their own religious practices to be more advanced and more accepting of others, so there's less judgment and dogma.
Yeah, and the authentic experience, because I believe science and religion can be intimately connected, because it's about not dogma, it's about experience.
Exactly.
It's about how do you cultivate a practice that will activate an experience. And that is really where all of the traditions, all of the religions, all of the methodologies are trying to enact, is to create a performance, a container for an experience to actualize within your human body.
Yeah, love it. It feels right to me.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, but that was it.
No, that's it.
Apparently.
That's it.
Yeah. So, what is your vision for where Tribal Visions goes? Because I hope to see Tribal Visions enacted through my whole life, and to potentially see my kids helping and be involved with the future of it in about 150 years, a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. I want to keep it alive, and that's the thing. Is so the whole point of Tribal Visions is to teach people. I haven't had the experience to dance with Aztec dancers until Tribal Visions, and then even a Rise Festival. They had some Aztec dancers there, and they were willing to show people their dance. You won't know until you're able to try it, or to be able to observe it and see it and really let it encompass you. So I think, the more we can keep these cultures alive, the more diverse our planet is, just like the genetics that we grow our food with. The more diverse our genetics are, the better our diversity of our planet will be. And I think the same thing with spirituality. We can't monoculture spirituality. We can't let Rome monoculture all these religions into, not Rome, well, society, our Western society. Just monoculture everything to one just format where we're just like accepting it all. But we need to really preserve and honor these religions to the highest form, and really discern what is dogma and what's not really upkeeping these religions to their form, and really take the nectar of them, take the spirituality, take the ritual, take the mysticism that they have to teach, and not just the overline like death and birth of the Savior. Focus on the teachings of the Savior. And each one of those saviors, because that's what's important, is the life and what we live, and not about necessities of lost and what's future necessarily, is save the future.
Absolutely. I always like a hot topic these days is cultural appropriation, and I just feel so weird about that, because like I don't feel like I grew up with Hindu culture and Christian culture like very much in my root center. So when I tap into Hindu culture, I don't feel like I'm culturally appropriating it, because it has been such a part of my growing up. Yeah. And how do you feel about that, and especially with Tribal Visions, and how do we incorporate this stuff respectfully without stepping on their toes and acknowledging the potency of their rituals?
To me, that all comes to your elders. If you need to know about Celtic mysticism, don't go to a book. Go to the most potent priestess in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? If that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for Hindu spirituality, don't go to just the guy singing kirtan around the corner. Go to the depth. Go to the Baba that's claiming to be a guru, or the whole community is claiming to them to be a guru. If you want to really understand what the Red Road means to you, definitely talk to the indigenous natives, and go to their elders, because they have a lot to teach us. And all those rituals, they definitely have their bits of trauma and dogma because of what they've been through, each one of those cultures. But the reality is their ritual is what we need to learn. The practice, how to respect the ceremony, how to respect the church, what is the temple, what is, define what their culture is, and really appropriate and honor it, and ideally show it to others. When I go to northern Mexico and I go to the fields where hickory, the cactus medicine, grows, I don't not say anything when I see people mistreating it or doing practices that maybe are against the Huicholi way or against the Native American church way. It's very important. Like, if you know something, share it. If you see something, like, I know, like, Ruth has been in a lot of Celtic ceremonies coming from Europe, and so have I from my mom's kind of stuff. And, she'll see things that maybe we practice wrong, and then she'll address it. And that's really important, that we all address it, understand each other, and then we can refine our ritual and keep it more original to the indigenous ways, and ask our elders. If you ever question anything, if you know an elder of that path, if you know a sound technician and you're a sound technician, go to the one that knows 50 years versus the one that knows 5 or 10, and you will learn that much more. But definitely knowledge is all based on our self-experience. If we're just taking in philosophy from books all the time and ideas from outside, and we're not actually living our truth, it's not going to be felt. So it's really important that we don't just read about these rituals or see them from a distance. We actually find a way to be involved with them. If they touch us, we get involved. If a sweat lodge touches you, learn about the lodge. Learn everything about it. Learn how the rocks work. Learn all the rules, and learn the different rules, because different elders will have different ways, and that's a reality of it. And every one of those ways needs to be preserved to the fullest, and in my perspective. And I really feel.
I agree. Don't believe the hype. A book will only crack the door open. In order for you to fully embody the knowledge, you must yourself jump into the fire.
Yes, I like it. That's it.
Yeah, I like.
Read it. Go away and.
So, we have. When is the next Tribal Vision?
So we have a lot of events coming up. Actually, this year we got events planned from Albuquerque. I'm working on booking some places at Sisters there. I'm working on booking some Cloud Station, Crestone, some Mesa Brewery shows in Taos. We're doing a whole different multiple tours up and down the Rockies range. So definitely keep in touch. The most up and coming event that is our new monthly. That's going to happen every third Friday.
Starting this Friday.
This Friday, To Gather. So come out to Gather, join us. It's going to be based on ritual. Do not bring alcohol. Do not bring that kind of vibe. We definitely want to bring ritual, medicine, any kind of vibe if you want on that. But no alcoholic abuse. And besides that, it's going to be all about listening to the Al Capones and getting fucking really wasted on ska music and reggae, and some good stuff outside or something. But it's mainly, so I really want, intention and prayer has always been a tribal vision focus. Unfortunately, I haven't found a native elder locally that I've been able to grab for this particular event, but I'm hoping to bring more indigenous speakers and elders to the future To Gather events so they can kind of keep that tribal vision understanding of representing indigenous cultures and preservation of indigenous language and rights.
Yeah. Protector of the indigenous nations.
So 4949 Echo Chamber is To Gather. Al Capone's,
Number
DJ
117.
Che and Serpentina Roja. Yeah. Flamenco dancing. Amazing flamenco dancing. Don't miss it. Tribal Vision Festival is 2015, so every 3 years. So this time, due to a lot of friendly other festivals, we bumped our dates up to September. Usually we hit in August, but September is much more beautiful in Taos. The mountains are starting to change colors, very Sangre de Cristo vibe. It's going to be located in Tres Piedras, really close to Ojo Caliente Hot Springs. Beautiful private land. It's our first forested site. The last three tribal visions have all been in the desert. So we're kind of stepping up, and we're going to see how it feels. This is the first tribal vision where we're giving 100% of the profits to this beautiful little school in San Marcos, Guatemala. We're really happy about that. We're working with Tarina on that. Yeah, so if anybody wants to be involved with Tribal Vision, there is literally hundreds of places, from musicians to speakers to workshop organizers to just to anybody that wants to volunteer, managers of basic infrastructure as well as serious infrastructure depending on your resume. But definitely keep me in touch and
keep him in touch.
Yeah, I'll keep you in touch, and you'll see Tribal Visions probably all over the place, I'm sure. This weekend we're releasing our pre-flyer that was beautifully drawn by Frankie over here, amazing artist. She brought in the most amazing image for us, so everybody's going to be excited when they see this. It's going to be a keeper on the wall for years, I'll tell you that.
Limited edition. You should all spend thousands of dollars on it.
Yes. It will be for sale at the festival.
Are there any questions from this beautiful, sexy, brilliant audience?
Yes, questions.
Yes.
Yes.
We would like a repeat on this Friday's information event.
Pre-sale tickets for Al Capone's and DJ Che are at the Echo Chamber. There's flyers around. It's called To Gather. It's going to be a monthly on the third Friday of every month. Yeah, and where is it? 4949 North Broadway in the warehouse district there, and it's 117 warehouse. There's a school bus in front. A school bus says StarWater all over the place. StarWater Elixir Bar will be there running some goodness, and it's yeah. Well, that'll be the Echo Chamber, and you guys will blow your mind. This studio is soundproof and very fun. A great place to pray, dance, and play.
Dance is prayer. Any other questions?
Questions?
Wonderful.
Questions? Any other? No?
Why are you so damn sexy?
Oh, yes. Well, I have to take the mic out for that one. It all goes back to my mother. No, not my mother. No, it was the first girlfriend. No, not her either. No, it is me. It is you. It is we. It fact is, we are the clowns. We are the ones.
I will admit it, sitting next to me.
Yes.
It's just really, in comparison, very much more sexy.
But you sound sexier.
Yeah, it's true. That's why I like to be behind the microphone.
Oh. So are we over with this, man? This is like torture. Come on, everybody's staring at me. Like, come on. I'm used to like shaking my booty when I'm doing this.
Yeah.
No.
Try making up questions on the
swing
fly.
music. Give me some swing music. No, this is a different. This is Chaitanya Estrella, not DJ Che. So
no.
I'm very legit here.
The only clown here is me.
Yes, he's the clown. Yes. Oh yeah, I have the hat, but.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
What is DJ Che, and will you shake your butt?
DJ Che. So I've been a clown for almost 10 years. 2003, 4. Wow, 11 years, 12. I've been a clown for 12 years. Yeah. So I put face paint on one time, and I loved it, and I started putting noses on and wore big funny hair. And people started paying me for birthday parties, $50 to $100 a frickin' hour. I would walk away with like $250 for just like 2.5 hours of work. I recommend people doing that. It's not many clowns in this town. Learn balloon art, it helps. Be prepared to get bruised. Yes.
Bruised?
Yes, kids are very dangerous.
I know.
When
I
you're a
have two of
clown.
them.
Yes.
They're just dangerous in general.
Yeah, and dangerous in general. But so yeah, DJ Che came from a clown act. I did the Electric Blue Monk Theater. We did a lot of clown theater, mimes versus clown theater, Romeo and Juliet clown mime version. There's a lot of that. So then it evolved into the DJ Che show. Once I didn't have anybody to play with, and I had to play with myself for hours listening to electro swing music. And it got very intimate. And then I started wearing lots of costumes, lots of different kinds of costumes. And then I started stripping all the costumes off very fast and very slow. And that became the flow of DJ Che. And it's more of a theatrics making fun of, let's say, DJing. I try to either base the set on something. This next one will be based on shamanism. People usually don't know the theme, but I do. But I'm telling you now, so you'll see the theme is different than my last show, last Saturday. That was based on sexy.
I thought it was based on tequila.
It was based on tequila, sexy tequila show. It was really good.
That's a good one.
I got really into it. I'm sorry if I offended anyone.
I don't think you. Hopefully not. If they're offended, then they should. I'm not gonna.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say that because I want them here.
At Arise, I did the DJ Che show, and I based it on drug abuse. And I thought it went really well. I had a great response. People really loved it. I puked extremely afterwards. And then they made me do a burlesque emceeing job, and I was not prepared.
Yeah, I remember that. It was good though. It was good though.
Okay, are we done yet?
Yeah. Well, that was good.
That's it. Tribal TribalVisionsFestival.com. It has an S on it right now because Japan stole it. It's like GMO internet stuff. Got it. I don't know. But it's TribalVisionsFestival.com. There's many contact forms on there if you're a band, if you're a workshop, if you want to do a ceremony, if you want to shake your booty, if you want to buy tickets. They're on sale. There's 100 tickets right now for $55 for a 3-day pass. And we're working on pretty big confirmations. I'm not going to say names because I'll be shot. So, okay, I hope you come.
Yeah. We want you all to come.
And Friday at Echo Chamber.
But multiple times as we throw more and more events. Come to every one of our events. Just keep coming. Just keep coming. Thank you, Chaitanya, for such a wonderful interview. You should all totally check out the Bones, who have played here multiple times, because we love them. Friday at the Echo Chamber, 4949, number 117 Broadway. We do lots of fantastic events there. Events that would be even more fantastic with you there.